Ladies and gentlemen, Edie Meeks.
Every time I come to the wall, I go to the sections July 1968, July 1969, and talk to my boys. One summer evening, I was here in DC at the wall, and tears started flowing from my eyes. I kept whispering, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." Sorry that I couldn't save them all. Sorry I couldn't stop the war. Sorry they would never get to be older than 18, 19, or 20. Sorry they would never make love, or get married, or have children. Sorry their brothers and sisters would never joke with or tease them, and their mom and dad would never hug them again. One of the reasons I joined the Army Nurse Corps was because my brother joined the Marines. And if anything happened to him, I wanted to be able to be there for him. Then he told me the Navy took care of the Marines. I'd worked in emergency rooms and intensive care units, so I was sure I could handle anything. Little did I know that every soldier I cared for was my brother. The average age was between 18 and 22. My brother Charlie was 19 and my brother Tom was 22. He was the Marine. I could see their sense of humor, quick wit, kindness, and sense of brotherhood for one another. I could see their potential. I saw all of this day after day as I cared for their torn and shattered bodies. There was a young soldier. He was a big guy. He looked as if he had played football. He had lost both legs, one arm, and possibly his sight. We stabilized him and shipped him to Japan. He, along with so many others. We never knew what happened to them. Did they survive? Live a good life? Were they happy? 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I worked in the intensive care unit. One of the soldiers who haunted me after I came back was a young man from Kansas. He came to us with severe abdominal wounds. He was fighting so hard to live. He asked me to read him a letter from home. It told him his father pheasant hunting with the family dog, and news from the area. At the end, his mother wrote, "We're so proud of you, son." 3 days later, he died. As the days went by, I became more and more angry. Angry at the Army, who seemed to be throwing my boys away. Angry at our government for putting my boys in harm's way for what seemed like no good reason. I had no place to put the anger, so I just shut down. After 6 months in Saigon and 6 months in Pleiku, it was time to go home. The last night in Pleiku, the hospital compound was rocketed, as usual. 24 hours later, I arrived in San Francisco. The nurses coming into Vietnam told us to change into civilian clothes as soon as we got stateside. The reception for a person in uniform was not kind. I took off my fatigues and I threw them in the trash. For years, I never spoke of being in the service until Diane Carlson Evans, my hoochmate and lifelong friend, called and asked me to help with the Vietnam Women's Memorial. It was dedicated Veterans Day 1993, and for the first time, I felt so proud to have served. One Memorial Day, Rolling Thunder, New York Chapter 3, found me. They took me under their wing. I felt safe. I didn't have to talk or explain. They welcomed me, and with the loud roar of the motorcycles and the quiet of my heart, I began to heal. Today is Memorial Day. We must remember not only those who died in combat, but those who came back, yet whose youth and joy and trust in the government was crushed by war. We who go to war come back different people. We speak a language only our fellow veterans can understand. To us, the names on the wall are not just names. They are people we knew. If all of the men and women who died because of that war, Agent Orange, suicide, wounds of the body, mind, and heart, were on the wall, the wall would extend down the mall. After speaking at a Memorial Day service for 9/11 first responders, a gentleman came up to me and he said, "My mother was a nurse in World War II, and she always spoke of her boys. If you come under the care of a military nurse, you become our boys, our brothers. We love you." Thank you.